All right, since our last post on how to protect yourself from curses, I have been asked to clarify the difference between a curse and a death cycle. And they can seem very similar at times, so it's a good thing to know when you're dealing with either a death cycle or an actual curse. So you usually know if somebody is putting forth a negative energy towards you if you've had any sort of conflict with that person, right? Easy way to tell. But then there are also cycles in our life where we go through what is called death cycles. And that is when everything seems to just go to absolute shit out of the blue, one thing after another constantly, but that can also feel like you're being cursed. But the truth is that death cycles come into play when outside of normal ebbs and flows. So first of all, there's normal ebbs and flows in life. We're generally in a flow, and every now and then we have to retract back in order to flow further. Those are ebbs. Ebbs are very usually short lasted. It's a couple of hiccups in the road, and then you're smooth sailing again. Death cycles are when constantly things just keep falling out of play. All of your electronics in your house are failing, and then your car breaks down, and then you sprung a leak in your home, and things like that, where they just kind of keep happening over, one thing happening back to back, not over and over, back to back. And those are death cycles, and those things are meant for your advancement. So remember that when you're in a death cycle, to keep a positive outlook. It's really hard to do, but I remind myself to be grateful that these things and energies are moving away, and that I'm bringing in energies and newer things to benefit me in the long run. And knowing the difference between a death cycle and a curse. So sometimes it can be a little hard to decipher. Sometimes both things can be happening at one time, and so they can feel like the same thing. But generally, if a lot of things are falling out of your space, out of your path energetically, and it seems to be compounding and rolling from one thing to the other, that's generally a death cycle. For me, I find that curses do not affect how the things around me behave. Like, it's not going to make, for instance, just an example. Say my husband's angry at me and he is speaking negatively about me, which would never happen. Just we're putting that out there. Not saying that he does this. But say he was angry, he was pissed off, and he goes and he vents to his friends and he puts out a negative energy towards me, or we're going through a divorce and he's putting out these negative energies towards me, and I can feel and sense them. I know that he's cursing me. That generally does not involve the things in my life falling out of play, if that makes sense. Every situation is a little bit different, and if you have any questions on how to clarify between, feel free to send me a DM or ask any questions you want in the comments, and I will help you figure it out. Thanks.